What is up, everyone? It is Election Day. The day is finally here. This is the last ASTROLABE of the old world. Got you guys there for a second, didn't I? This is the last ASTROLABE that will be held in the old world. The world is changing. This is going to be the day of demarcation that everyone will look back to, regardless of what happens. This is the most important election of our lifetime for many, many reasons, but in particular because nobody is ever going to look at things the same after what happens today. Many people have made the prediction that this is the last election that we'll ever have, and I think I do agree with that to an extent. I think it's the last election that we'll ever have in a manner of speaking. There's lots of different possibilities out here where it could be legitimately like we just have an entire new structure of government. Something completely different happens. The union breaks up and all kinds of crazy stuff happens, which I think is very unlikely. I think for a whole number of reasons that maybe is fodder for another show. I don't think that it's likely that the union ever breaks up anytime soon. But I do think that there will be substantial differences in the next election that will be so significant that it effectively is a new type of election. Elections being conducted in such a substantially new way that it essentially constitutes a new thing. Now, this may be in something explicit, as in like the next elections are held on the blockchain or something like that. It could be something like that. It could be the complete dissolution of the union, and future elections are just, there is no such thing as a president really anymore. Those ones I think those are the really unlikely possibilities. But I believe that we're going to see there's going to be either if Trump wins, then federal elections are going to be effectively nationalized. They're going to be conducted under very different premises, and they're going to be viewed very differently by people. It's going to change the way people approach it. And if Trump does not win, then there's a whole bunch of different possibilities that can come from that. But I don't. That doesn't seem to be a remotely plausible outcome. Shout out to Well Emmanuel. He's been a member of the King Pill channel for 11 months. He says, "May the best pill win." Yes. I saw someone up here said that we've had a white boy summer and now we're well into Aryan autumn, and I can get down with that. You have Aryan autumn, then you could have white boy winter, and then let's see, what would spring be? I suppose it could just be white boy spring. Aryan spring maybe. How's it going, guys? How's the election day treating you? Wyman is in the chat. Look at that. See, it is a new time. We are entering a new era. Wyman has returned to the chat. Yes, shout out to Wyman for actually being here. It's good to see you, man. So I've got a number of some of the clips that I was going to share yesterday that I had to drop out. I've got those. I kept those open so we can go through them today. I got a couple others. Some of these are like clips that I want to get in before the election actually happens, because it's going to be not much point in sharing them afterwards, but they're good. And then some of the stuff is not going to be politics related really at all. And then let's see. And then I've got some election stuff here down at the end, and I've got my tab. Actually, I had to navigate away from it for a minute. So let me reopen my tab so that I can monitor. I created a list on Twitter, which I tweeted out. If you go to @RealKingPilled, you can see I tweeted out the list that I created of the election accounts that I'm following, just to keep track of all the data and the news and everything. If I'm not mistaken, then we are right on the cusp of the first exit polls being released, and it's going to, all the narratives are going to take off here. So we're going to kind of experience some of this in real time. So I'm going to be checking in on that periodically throughout this to see if there's any big news that breaks or anything like that. But I'll say to take the exit polls with a grain of salt. They're not super accurate. They have a great tendency to change later on. I mean, just think about like what constitutes an exit poll. They're like asking people questions and getting those people's answers in real time of those questions. So a lot of this stuff can change, and it's also a very useful vector for immediately setting a narrative. And oops, actually, we didn't report our data exactly correctly, and we modified it and changed it yesterday later on to be honest. But the fact that the initial data was released in the first place set a narrative which allowed things to carry on. So take whatever comes out in these exit polls that start dropping here with a grain of salt. Actually, looks like they've already dropped. First CNN exit polls. How do you feel about how things are going in the U.S.? 29% say angry. 43% say dissatisfied. Satisfied says 19%, and enthusiastic is 7%. So what is this? 74% of Americans feel angry or dissatisfied with how things are going. Well, that's one you could probably take to the bank. Yep, that sounds pretty accurate. Everyone, guys, we will not be paying attention to the early exit polls. Everyone at 5:05 p.m. OMG exit polls, my candidate has won big. So yeah, all the propaganda is going to really kick into gear now, and we have to be on our guard, making sure that we're not getting suckered into fake things. It also gives us an opportunity to set our own narratives, let's say. I will say that I'm more confident than ever that Trump is going to win. I think the odds of an election day win have gone up significantly. I know it's kind of cheating to say that here, 4:13 p.m. in Central Time. But this is, if I'd have thought of saying this yesterday, I would have said the same thing, that the odds of him winning day of, like it being announced tonight or like tomorrow, I think have increased substantially. But I still believe that there is going to be sustained lawfare. The real question, I suppose, is going to be, is that lawfare going to progress under the aegis of it being accepted that Trump is the president? And now it's more like, I guess, Trump people, MAGA people. I don't even want to say Republicans anymore, because it's kind of like the Republican Party has been taken away from the Republicans, for better and for worse. But it's for worse because it's like, man, the Republicans really shouldn't have put themselves in the position where their party could be taken away from them. It's for worse, or it's for better, because the people who are taking it away from them actually know how to use it, and they're very aligned with us on a lot of things. So it's a good thing. Coveted map percent prediction. I'll say right now, I'm going to say 75% that Trump wins day of, like it's announced tonight or within the next 24 hours, and then 24.997% that he wins, and it's borne out through all the lawfare and such. And it maybe takes a couple of months, but it ultimately, a year from now, we look back and say Trump won the presidency. And then whatever's remaining, was that 0.013 or something, 0.003%, that Kamala pulls it out. That's where I've got it right now. She is just cratering, and the sentiment around her, by all reports, is bad. Bad. They're unhappy. They're pissed off. They're fracturing. They're starting to leak on each other. That's how everything is. Could this be an elaborate hoax? Could they rally back together all of that sentiment immediately if they get one drop of good news? Yeah. But the problem is there's now an entire complex of media that exists to preempt and head off every single attempt to do that. Every time the regime press tries to set a narrative, it gets immediately headed off and fractured and blunted by a kind of a great conglomeration of, I guess you call it maybe independent media. They're not able to just establish the narrative and force it through, and especially to force it to have the force of law, which is what they're having to do now. So they're at their weakest, their least ability ever to control the narrative right now, and they've got to somehow coordinate and enforce the most significant narrative they've ever had to enforce. So like it's working against them in both directions. That's why I say I think it's just very, very unlikely. Alex Hormozy is tweeting. Okay, I got to go see this. If Alex Hormozy is saying men go vote, I mean, I'm not like It's not surprising that Alex Hormozy would be a Trump guy, but yeah, he said, "Reminder to men, vote." That might be the first political tweet I've ever seen from him. He's fairly politically ambivalent, but if you're saying to men to go vote, that's a very clever way of maintaining plausible deniability while absolutely tweeting out Trump propaganda. I've got a couple of other surprising ones here, but let's just launch right into it. Reminder to everybody that I'm going to be on the Old Glory Club live election reaction stream tonight. I wanted to redirect over there, but they've said it so nobody can redirect to them. So you guys will just have to go find it yourself. Not very hard. Go to Old Glory Club on YouTube, and it's their big stream that's going 6:30 p.m. my time, so 7:30 Eastern tonight is when we'll be going live over there. They're going to be going for as long as they need to. Could be deep into the night, and I'm going to try to be there for as much of it as I can. I know there's going to be a few different people coming in and out. I've heard a rumor that Dave the Distributist is going to be dropping in. Perhaps Charles Haywood may be dropping in. I'm sure that Pete Quinones is going to be there. So there'll be the whole crowd is going to be showing up. It'll be a whole long line of great contributors. So make sure you're there for that tonight. And do me a favor and hit the like button. We've got 156 watching already. People want the election day content. We've got 156 watching and only 49 likes. So do me a favor. So if we're at 157 right now, I'm going to get real ambitious. I'll bet you we could get to 150 by the end of this stream. It's probably going to be a little bit shorter than a typical one, unless I decide to kind of hang out and just scroll through the feed at the end of it. But I'll bet you we could get to 150. We've hit 125 in the middle of a stream before. I'll bet you we can get to 150. It's going to take some work, but we're up to 59 already. So we need, what's that? Oh man, I just lost the ability to math. 90. We need 90 more likes. 90 more likes. All right. Let's start crushing through some of these. Oops, got to highlight the correct window. And we've got an accurate depiction of life with ruminants. I know there's a number of people who watch this, who watch the stream, who have ruminants or spend a lot of time around them. I want you guys to confirm, is this accurate?
I heard my baby crying for help. Stop it! I'm coming! I'm coming! We can't have a damn thing nice around here. My God.
This one's rough. Bam! Oh, man. We need to vote for Trump to protect our pets, to protect our ruminants. Wit says, yep, that's goats.
You feed them, you raise them, you send them to school, and they're still stupid!
You're fucked there, bud. Oh, and it's you, of course.
People been looking at me. I'm just like, what you looking at, stranger?
Walk here. Whack.
Bam! Oh! Oh, that dog got shit on. I didn't watch all the way to the end of the clip before.
Whack.
Boom! That dog's going to be sipping soup. Man. I really I grew up in the country, but I didn't grow up really around a lot of animals because the country that I'm in doesn't have a lot of farmland or anything like that. But man, I want me some land and some animals. Check this out. Look what the Amish and locals have done in Asheville, North Carolina. The craftsmanship on these little homes and in record time is amazing. God bless the USA. This is America right here, guys. They cranked these out. I don't know if the Amish would necessarily. I don't know how. I don't know exactly what the involvement in this has been, but man, there's going to be people who come out of this whole thing with brand new careers. You can go in and you can start a business and you can hone your skills and get this stuff done, and then you can just start replicating it. I can't imagine these were super expensive. And they whipped them up in a hurry. I would totally live in one of these. I mean, I probably need it to be a little bit larger. I have a lot of space considerations, but man, shout out to them. The grave cleaning bimbo is doing a better job at road upkeep than most city councils, who will absolutely fine her for this and dig the hole open again. I like this chick. She has figured out a brilliant little game she's playing here. She goes out and she gets to be super ditzy bimbo chick, go wash graves and now do like public infrastructure projects. And she does it in a way that goes uber viral. So she's actually making a lot more money doing this than she could if she was actually doing a business of doing this. Like if she offered grave cleaning services, she wouldn't be nearly as successful or wealthy as she is doing grave cleaning for free for her channel. And so here she is patching a hole in the road.
I'm gonna fix this pothole for free.
I've never done this before, but my city won't fix the road, so I'm gonna do it myself. Up the road from here, a boy hit a pothole. He crashed his motorcycle, and unfortunately he passed away.
So I'm gonna do the little bit that I can. That was easy.
Let's clean this dirty hole. Let's dry you off. Now that all the bad dirt is gone, we can put the good dirt in. Get down in there. Look how good I'm doing. Oh no. I love concrete. Wait!
I get to do this work because you said.
It's hard to watch. It's hard for me to focus on and not climb out of my own skin. But it obviously works. So I can't hate on her. FB Informant says, hopefully going down there to North Carolina at the end of the month if help is still needed. Excellent, man. Yes. You are a hero, sir. Go live up to your calling. Make sure you get connected with the old Glory Club guys if you don't have somebody you're already connected with down there. And report back. Let us know. Keep us in the loop. Courtney's EZ7. I'm hard watching too, man. That's there's quite a double meaning in there. John Kennedy, one of my favorite politicians. I genuinely don't care or don't. I'm not even aware of what his voting record is, where exactly he ranks within Congress. I think he's very much on the more conservative side, but he is the most entertaining congressperson to watch.
Goat's milk latte drinking,
Or senator. I think he's a senator.
avocado toast eating.
Life is hard, but it's harder when you're stupid.
Can I take cocaine with my spouse?
No, sir. No, sir.
I did not call Senator Sanders an ignorant slut.
I'm not talking about buying it, but let's suppose I came in one day and the cocaine was there.
People who are bilingual, they speak English and stupid. I don't know why we have to give money to countries that hate us. They should be able to hate us for free. Looks like we're giving Lindsay Lohan the keys to the minibar.
Let's hear that one again. Oh, come on.
Foolish and stupid. I don't know why we have to give money to countries that hate us. They should be able to hate us for free. Looks like we're giving.
I wish you could see what Tucker's face was after that. I don't see why we have to give money to countries that hate us. They should be able to hate us for free.
Lindsay Lohan the keys to the minibar. President Biden is sort of like Kevin Bacon at the end of Animal House. The Cantina bar scene out of Star Wars. They wanted it like Ben wants J-Lo. I'm like Bluto in Animal House. I'm just fat, drunk, and stupid. Frankly, I can't because I can't get my head that far up my rear end. Just stick it up there, fact checker. They can kiss my ass. Somebody at the White House has been smoking the devil's lettuce. Okay, we cannot run the greatest economy by putting fairy dust and unicorn urine in our cars. Urinate to get off the pot. My car doesn't run off fairy dust. My car doesn't run off unicorn urine. The spending porn on pet projects, it's just chock full of spending porn. There's an enormous amount of spending porn. Next time you get in trouble, call a crackhead, call a criminal, call a meth head.
It must suck to be that dumb.
I don't mean disrespect, but the mayor needs to take her meds.
Christmas ornaments, drywall, and Jerry Epstein. Name 3 things that don't hang themselves.
This is a particular brand of boomer that I think is a dying breed. I think there's just a character here that he plays that you don't see anymore in the younger generations. You got our own characters, but we're gonna miss these guys when they're gone. I don't know if he's anti-Zionist or not. I think he might at least play footsie with an anti-Zionist side, but I imagine he's. I just assume most of these big Republican old white guys are largely going to be given over towards Zionism, and I am pleasantly surprised when they're not. Nate Hotchman says, "This is amazing. My favorite work of lefty hysteria art to date." How many of you guys have seen this already? This is fantastic. You guys ready to get hyped?
We weren't always like this. We had a beautiful life. The best parties. The most beautiful friends. We thought it was just another election. So a lot of us didn't vote. Why bother? Everyone knew the system was rigged. Many of us even voted for them. I know it sounds crazy now, but we didn't like Democrats back then. We were angry about the vaccine mandates and how they handled the war in Gaza and the way they wanted to censor free speech on the internet.
They want unquestioned obedience.
So what did we end up doing? We voted for the guys who openly said they wanted to imprison dissenters and use the military against their political opponents. So yeah, we were wrong on that, big time. When Trump got sick and died, Vance was 39 years old when he became president. 30 years later, he's still president today. And with the Supreme Court on his side, they gave him dictatorial powers. They took away women's reproductive rights, outlawed contraception, and removed the minimum wage. Then we had repression of dissent, AI surveillance of everything we did or said on a level we couldn't imagine. The government under Vance, Peter Thiel, and Elon Musk set up concentration camps for illegal immigrants, then legal immigrants, then even homeless people. They finally admitted climate change was real, but it was too late. Florida sank into the Gulf and the West burned, and cities across the country became uninsurable, then uninhabitable. Musk and Thiel poured all of our resources into artificial intelligence so they and their friends could become immortal. I don't know what happened to them, but I know what happened to us.
Oh man, that was even better than the first time I watched it. You guys in the chat, you guys are flying. That might be the best reaction we've ever gotten from a clip on here. Isn't that incredible? Oh man, like, let's see here. Let's go through
so a lot
this.
of us didn't vote. Why bother?
I'm going to go through this muted and just share some of my thoughts on it. So first of all, notice we had a beautiful life, the best parties, the most beautiful friends. We thought it was just another election. So the person that they're ostensibly trying to reach out to with this is the person who's at parties like this with blue hair. So this is like, they're like preaching to the choir on this. They're trying to rally up and motivate their core base. They seem to be questioning the dedication of their core base. And how many people like this exist? How many people are out there like living this kind of life? Like, this is the good life. This is what I want. Everyone knew the system was rigged. Many of us even voted for them. I know it sounds insane, but we didn't like Democrats back then. Can you imagine? Can we imagine? We didn't like Democrats back then. Democrats were unpopular. All of this, though, is conceding that it's rigged. They've already given that up. They've already conceded that. Yeah, it's rigged. It's rigged, but they're so bad. We need to rig it against them. It's the celebration parallax here. We were angry about the vaccine mandates. We were angry about how they handled the war in Gaza and the way they wanted to censor free speech on the internet. So it's validating those three things. It's validating anger about the vaccine mandates, anger about the war in Gaza, and the anger about censoring free speech on the internet. It's saying, yes, all of these things were bad. And you're right to be angry about it. But he's just so much worse. So in order to continue selling how bad he is, they're having to concede how bad they are. That's the corner they've backed themselves into. And then they go through their listing off our wish list. Then it's written poorly. It says, when Trump got sick and died, Vance was 39 years old when he became president. That's just really awkwardly phrased. Consistent pattern we've picked up on all these things is that these people are genuinely shitty writers. Like, they don't even know how to use words. That's why they just spaz out and just kind of yell whatever's the worst word they can think of, because they genuinely don't know how words work. You've got old J.D. Vance. What did it call him? The Supreme Court gave him dictator powers for life. I'd be just fine with J.D. Vance having dictator powers for life. If someone's going to have it, yeah, I'll take it. Going through the wish list again. AI surveillance of everything we did. Now, isn't this interesting that this is a perspective that they're moving toward? So I think we're seeing the creation of, and more explicit creation of, what the consolidated opposition to Trump is going to look and sound like. And there's interesting things included in this, like, for example, the vaccine mandates, or Gaza, or free speech. These are the positions, I think, that we're going to start seeing them take, and accusing the Trump administration of violating those tenets. So an AI surveillance network. This is something that they're concerned about suddenly. Suddenly, the Democrats are very concerned about, like, social credit scores and surveillance networks. Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, so they're identifying Peter Thiel as one of the villains here, which is something that the whole resistance crowd, they've been shitting their pants about Peter Thiel for a long time. Then legal immigrants, so putting legal immigrants, I guess we're really playing the FDR hits here. And even homeless people. I think I would absolutely immediately rubber stamp and campaign for anyone who advocated building camps for homeless people, where the homeless people can be taken, they can be clothed, they can be fed, and they can be given a job with and compensated for that job with some sort of a threshold that they can attain, where they can buy themselves back into society. That sounds like a great idea. That'd be really, really good. Let's get somebody who will fund that project. They can get a bunch of really relatively cheap labor. That'd be really good. Win-win all the way around. Now they're concerned about Florida. They're concerned that Florida is going to sink. And then here's one of the best parts of this. Poured all our resources into artificial intelligence so they and their friends could become immortal. I don't know what happened to them, but I know what happened to us. Okay, so I passed the part already where they talk about climate change. So even in this like completely surreal fever dream vision of the future that they're having, they're still right about climate change. They can confess everything else, but this thing they cannot confess. Their absolute worst villain they could possibly imagine eventually comes around to accept climate change. What an odd thing to include in there. Got a $10 super chat from Casey Stark. He says they can't even come up with their own story that was literally the origins of Dune. Okay, let's keep it going. Speaking of AI, I didn't even put these in this order on purpose, but this works out. When you use AI to replace every mention of our democracy with our bureaucracy, everything starts making a lot more sense.
If the Democrats fail, it might be the end of American bureaucracy.
Our bureaucracy really is in fundamental peril.
The foundations of American bureaucracy under attack. They want to destroy our bureaucracy.
We are a bureaucracy in danger.
We're watching an election where people are on the ballot openly advocating the end of bureaucracy.
That's what Republicans are doing, attacking bureaucracy, attempting to destroy bureaucracy, and they're doing it with glee.
This is the end of bureaucracy in America.
When will America stop sleepwalking towards the end of bureaucracy?
Right. It's Democrats versus, as Bill Kristol says, the end of bureaucracy.
We are essentially, as Neil put it, one vote away from sort of the end of bureaucracy as we know it.
I think our bureaucracy and the stability of that bureaucracy is really the thing on the ballot and really so important.
So yes, Elon boosted this. That's where I saw it. It's up to 2.4 million views. Let me see if that's refreshed. 11.4 million views now. This is absolutely brutal propaganda for these people to get this sort of thing pushed out into the public consciousness. Even me already being like inclined to, like, if I'd have thought of it, I would have created something like this myself. Sitting there listening to it so perfectly saying bureaucracy, 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 our bureaucracy, our bureaucracy, our bureaucracy over and over again, it hits you. You can't not hear that. I'll never, like, whenever they say our democracy, from now on, I'm always going to hear our bureaucracy. Probably because I was already inclined that direction, but the average person hearing this sort of thing, it's so true that it's like, oh, wait, yeah, no kidding. They are just being smothered under an avalanche of haymakers. They're being hit from all sides with a huge propaganda push that is devastating them. What is up? We have an inside report from the Trump campaign. Trump campaign official is here to join us.
Hello.
How are you, Trump campaign official?
I'm ready to usher in the Fourth Reich, the 1,000-year reign of our God and Emperor, our Lord Donald Trump.
Trump! Vote Trump!
Vote Trump!
$5 super chat from Jason Miranchuk. He says, go buy something nice-ish. Yeah, well, it's not going to be that nice because this is $5 Australian. What am I supposed to do with Australian dollars? This is like...
That's like shithole money.
This is like 6 cents. Thank you, buddy. Go check out Miranchuk now. And then there was another super chat that I saw here. Where did it go? Here it is. Colin. The retard. $10. He says, let's fucking go. I'm horned. Down with the American bureaucracy. And, of course, he misspelled bureaucracy, but that's okay because everyone misspells bureaucracy. Literally no one writes bureaucracy correctly.
He was so close.
Time. Yes, he was.
There's an extra R in there, I think.
Extra C. It's Bureaucracy. now we're just roasting him.
Bureau. That's about as far as I can make it.
Yeah, Cracy. So actually it wasn't an extra C. It was the R and the A were flipped around. That's what it was.
Gotcha,
Bureaucracy. RACY. And $5 Canadian. We're getting all the shithole country money now. Says, yeah, Jason, your money is useless. And then $5 from See You in the Camp. And this is real money. This is real cold, hard American cash. Says, not sure if this indicates anything about the election, but Palantir went up 23.5% today. It does well in a world with Trump in the White House. Indeed. Indeed, the smart money is moving. And I noticed, I had some replies on Twitter indicating that some of the guys following us are some of that smart money. They've been doing well for themselves. You guys are welcome. Okay. We got 211 watching right now and 115 likes. We're trying to get to 150 while we're live, so do me a favor and hit the like button. Cooper, did you watch Elon Musk on Joe Rogan?
Yeah, most of it. I think I got 2/3 of the way through it today. Then they were listening. There's a whole lot of dead air when they were trying to make Grok tell shitty jokes or whatever.
Yeah.
I got bored after about 10 minutes of that.
And the jokes weren't even good. They found out in real time that Grok is still too
lib.
Yeah, too lib. Uh-huh. I saw Andrew Torba posted his response, or he used the Gab AI and asked it the same questions and had it produce the responses, and it was way less. It was not long-housed at all. So yeah, X still has a little ways to go. This was one of the most significant things. So I listened to it last night. I sat down and I played Halo and listened to it for a little while. And because it was pouring rain outside. I go for a walk and I walk the dog, and that's the time when I'd sit there and just listen to stuff. But it was pouring rain last night. First time we've gotten rain in a couple of months, I think, which is a great omen indeed. A huge thunderstorm, like lightning going for several hours. It was it kind of gave me the tingles a little bit. But this was I think one of the stronger statements that was made. They were fairly no holds barred. And people made a big deal about Joe Rogan finally endorsing Trump, and it was kind of funny to me because I've just been like, well, yeah, Joe is going to endorse Trump. Like, Joe's going to vote for Trump. There's no question about it. It's not even a consideration. It's very obvious Joe's going to vote for Trump. But I suppose it is significant that he actually formally came out and said it. And honestly, for all the people who were hating on him about it, if he'd said it a long time ago, it probably wouldn't have been as impactful as him saying it right before the election and creating this big woof of energy. I think Joe played it very well. But this was one of the more interesting comments from this.
Fauci's a freaking demon, if you ask me.
If you read,
Fauci is a demon, if you ask me. Oh, okay, Elon. How do you really feel about it?
Read RFK's book.
Yeah.
If the real Anthony Fauci, if that's correct, if the facts are in there, that's true. It's all referenced.
Yeah.
You could find the sources, and on top of it, he's never been sued for that book, which doesn't make any sense. If he just made a bunch of lies up, he would get sued.
Yes.
So the guy's a monster.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I think, like, just looking at the lies that he told, the way he tried to define gain-of-function research to Rand Paul.
But I think a lot of people out there don't realize Fauci funded the bioweapons research that was going on in Wuhan, and he bank shot it off. Like, he can't send the money directly to China, so he just bank shot it off EcoHealth.
Right.
This like fake nonprofit in the U.S. and they sent it to Wuhan.
And Obama put the skids on that. He stopped that in 2014.
Yes, I mean, so to give Obama some credit, he actually was like looking at this and say, hey, this is crazy, and he actually did stop the so-called gain of function, again, a propaganda word, because what is the function they're talking about? Death.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So if you actually use the right word, this is gain of function is death maximization.
Right.
Then you're like, hey guys, should we fund bioweapon research into death maximization? Because that's what gain of function means.
Yeah, it means
that's the function.
Making a disease so that people can get it. Give it to people. Yeah, by the way,
what's that function again? Oh, the function is death? Oh, okay. So just call it a death maximizing virus.
If you're doing
insane.
research on that, and the idea behind this research is so that we can cure these things, how come you don't have a fucking cure?
Start with a cure. Cure first, disease second.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, you guys had no strategy for dealing with it if it got out? And so you have to like make up this new vaccine in like record time, Operation Warp Speed, release it to the people with very little testing. It's fucking crazy.
It was crazy.
The whole thing's crazy, and
That was
everybody
like
just
Looney
went
Tunes,
along
man.
with it.
Looney Tunes next level.
Well, it's the psyop was fascinating to watch people step in
That's
line.
like one of the biggest psyops of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time.
So the reason I wanted to play that whole clip is because if this clip had dropped on another platform, I probably wouldn't have played it if I'm streaming on YouTube, because I would think that this would be crossing some lines that would get the channel, or get the at least the video taken down, if not the channel. And now I'm like, well, this is literally from YouTube. It's up on YouTube right now. They can't take this stuff down. Their ability to censor has been massively impacted. And that's going to be a difficult thing to get back no matter what. The only ways that they're going to be able to continue to enforce their will is by escalating and trying and doing things that require even more will to enforce. That's a very difficult thing to overcome. It's not impossible to overcome, which is why I hedge my bet slightly. I say there's some, it's conceivable that some great massive black swan event could completely change everything. But every single type of black swan event that I can think of, and I game theory it out and imagine the way that it would go, every single thing results in their power being diminished even further. And I'm open to an argument otherwise, but I don't see this trajectory changing anytime soon. You have any thoughts on that, Cooper?
Nope. I kind of caught you midstream when I hopped on here, so I haven't. I had just tuned in, so I don't know what we're talking about really.
Okay, yeah, this is just some clips that I had from yesterday that I didn't. I had to drop out. This one is very interesting. Did you see them talking about this one in the Discord?
No.
This is a real scene from Zack Snyder's Twilight of the Gods, an 18+ animation series about the Norse gods. In the final episode, Odin uses a prophetess to glimpse the future, witnessing Jesus on the cross and people abandoning him to worship Jesus instead.
Who is Zack? Zack Snyder. Is that the?
He did the Ben Affleck Batman. That's the one I know for sure, and he's done some of the other DC.
Was that like the 300 dude?
I think so. Yeah, I think he did 300. I think he did
all like dark and grainy looking. That's kind of his thing.
Yeah, very dark and
300.
grainy and gritty.
Okay. Yeah.
That is very interesting. I don't really know exactly what to make of. It strikes me as very significant that they would produce something like this, but I can't conceive of how or why or what it means.
Odin's a loser. That's what it
means.
Right. Pagans blown the fuck out.
Yeah.
Losers.
Odin got cooked, based and Christ-pilled indeed. Shout out to Alex Jones, man. Look at this guy.
Oh, man, he's looking good.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan's got him on something.
Day 63, seeing massive gains in Alex's progression. Weight is flying off right now. Keep up with his updates and progress here. We appreciate all your support. He's taken on this challenge, and I'll be kicking his ass daily till he's in the kind of shape we need him to be to keep fighting for us.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to Sean B. Johnson, SHAWNB Johnson. on Twitter. You guys can go follow him and keep up with Alex's progress. Alex has been looking better lately.
He's looking good, man.
Yeah. That's good to see. I'd kind of accepted that he was probably going to die of a heart attack within the next 5 to 10 years. But someone's got him turned around. All right. This is, we've had a couple of based Asian videos lately, and this one falls in line with that. Yuan Yizhu, I don't really know anything about this guy, but he says...
Oh, dude, I love when Asian people are on Twitter. I love them.
Yeah. Shout out to Weiwu out there. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
This guy says, America is great because you can be gold-plated elite, Groton, Yale Law, then Deep State, married to the National Security Advisor, and you have to debate an insane libertarian Chinese immigrant mom who will insult you in broken English, and she may beat you at the election. So this is Lily Tang Williams. She's an OG Libertarian Party person. I think I've been friends with her on Facebook for like 15 years. And she's running for, as a Republican, against Jake Sullivan's, I think it's Jake Sullivan's wife. Just like Obama, like an Obama cutout, essentially. And listen to Lily Tang just absolutely read her the riot act.
And hope for the best. Hope that the results will trickle down to hardworking people. I take a very different approach. I believe that the middle class deserves a tax cut, and I believe that we will do a lot for this country by ensuring that we don't continue this disastrous tax policy.
Mr. Williams.
You are wealthy. You are worth $20 million to $30 million. How do you know about regular people suffering? Do you go shopping, go to Walmart, buy food? I talk to those people. And you pretend to be Ranger Inashua a few months ago, moved back to run for this open seat with millions of dollars from Washington, D.C. insiders. And the millions of dollars. I don't have money to run a TV ad. And you pretend you are poor, complain rent is so high. You couldn't save that apartment for other people to rent in Nashua. Just go back to your $2 million home in Portsmouth. Please don't say that, because you do not understand regular people's concern. People cry in my arms on this issue. And hope for...
She looked like she was about to cry.
Yeah, she did. And I don't know what, like... I've never even heard of this chick before. I knew Jake Sullivan was, but I never knew anything about his wife. So I have no idea if she's an actual, like, diehard believer and operator, or if it's just like, hey, we need someone to run for this seat here. You're pretty, go do it. And she's just kind of like, okay, I'm going to go do and say the things that I need to say. And here she's getting just absolutely tongue lashed by an immigrant Chinese woman in broken English. She's about to throw a shoe at the other broad. Shout out to Punchy. It's Erection Day. Go vote. Chinese proverb. Oh, man. Okay, so here is, speaking of libertarians, Seamus Coughlin from Freedom Tunes.
We have this default assumption right now that voting is this very important thing that can decide the future of our country, and every vote counts, but also our default position should be that every adult is allowed to vote. And I just think that's ridiculous. If voting is this very important thing, then it needs to be taken seriously. And we need to ensure that somebody is of a certain level of consideration or concern or status to actually have any kind of stake in the future of the system. So, for example, I just think it's an insane idea that a father of 6 who's worked hard his entire life to provide for his family can have his vote canceled out by some 18-year-old who just took out $200,000 in student debt to go to art school. Like, I think it's silly to say that everyone should just get an equal say. And by the way, there is no justification for that argument I've heard, which doesn't just apply to communism as a concept. It's always, well, everything needs to be equal for everyone. We need to ensure everyone has an equal say. I'm sorry, we don't. Some people are more qualified to make decisions and have more of an incentive to make choices that are in line with the long-term flourishing of our country.
He's cooking.
All right. I like it.
This is part of the sort of reason why I think saying that this is the last election that the United States is ever going to have, I think there's a lot of truth to it. Because this sort of sentiment is building and developing and expanding out from just like a tiny little niche community of like online racists. And you can't just put it away. Like, you can't just make this go away. And at the same time, you have kind of a similar factor on the other side where I tweeted something yesterday about how the abortion becoming like women all becoming single issue voters on abortion, the bitter white pill in it is that abolishing the 19th or repealing the 19th may just be a formality. Because, like, if this is the only thing left that they care about, they don't care about all the other things. So they're already not even, like, thinking, oh, I need to vote for these other things. And on top of that, women being single-issue voters on abortion is really revolting to a large chunk of the population, which makes people even more open to the idea of restricting the franchise. And then, effectively, already now, we don't even have a... Like people just give their votes to someone else. People just vote the way they're told to by someone else. So effectively, the person who's telling them what to vote, they own those votes. So it's already basically that way. And this is a sentiment that's going to be reflected on the right wing and on the left wing. They're both going to see, increasingly as they see the enemy as single types of demographics, they're like, well, those people are always voting in line because they're just granting their vote over to their leader. Both sides are going to make the same critique about the other. So both sides are going to be ultimately in favor of beginning to restrict the franchise in various different ways. So I think restricting it to just citizens is the first step in restricting it more and more overall.
I'm a bit of a low information voter. I don't know about you. I went and voted today, which I wasn't planning on doing, but doggone it, my president needs me.
Yes.
And so, I voted for Trump and Vance and whatever. And then I got to the nonpartisan section, which is like local stuff, like, I don't know, trustee of the school board, community outreach, whatever, just bullshit. Like, what is this job anyway? And if there was an option if it was like between a man and a woman, I just hedged my bets and went with the man. I don't know if he's a Republican, Democrat, I don't know, but I just assumed probably safer to do that than the other. And then if the only option was women, I just wrote in a man.
I did something. There was a couple of votes that I like for local city council at large or whatever. There was a couple people who were basically indistinguishable. And one is a man and one is a woman. So I just voted for the man. Yeah, and then there was one position here that was the only person running was a Democrat woman. So I just skipped it and didn't vote at all. I won't give my vote to a woman.
Yeah. But like I kind of went, if it was between a man and a woman, I went with the man. If it was between multiple men, I went with the one who had there was one guy who had a very, basically his last name was like Pajit or something like that. So I just I went with the guy who had the American name, you know?
Voting for your own people.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lux Life, $7 super chat. Thank you, my friend. Says thanks ever so much for all the goods. You got it. We're at 134 likes. We need 16 more. 150 in the live stream. It'll be a new record. And I've got more stuff for you guys. Here is, what do you guys call her?
Oh, she's
Gun Mommy?
She's looking a little rough right there.
Yeah, she's getting a little older.
Looking old.
Yeah. She's always had she has some kind of an acne thing or something like that. She has her skin on her cheeks is pockmarked. And apparently I heard someone, I think it was Joe Rogan talking to JD Vance or Elon, said that this gray hair here, this is not dyed. It's actually natural. And it was like a stress response or something like that. And he said it perfectly seriously. I thought it was kind of a joke when I was watching, but he seemed completely straight-faced. I assumed that she was dyeing it. But here's her talking to Sean Ryan.
She should start peating.
Headline.
She should what?
She should start peating.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's good for the skin.
This headline that popped up, the Department of Defense is announcing they're going to give economic hardship bonuses to troops.
What does that mean?
$20 a month.
Guys in the chat are like, she's giving a hardship bonus to me.
About $120 a year. Yes. And so I've read the headline. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Economic hardship bonuses, because the economy has been tough, especially for junior enlisted service members. Food stamps, going to the food bank, trying to support a family, especially those who have young families. Okay, sounds like a good idea. $20 a month. Turns out Congress authorized an economic hardship bonus last year And only now is the Pentagon getting around to making these payments and have said, well, this is all that we can afford, and it'll go to service members of the ranks of E1 to E3. The White House adamantly opposes this until they complete their administration's study on military pay and compensation.
Boom, there's a budget cut.
Exactly.
Get rid of that entire program.
Exactly. And that's my point is, so this is the same Department of Defense that says, oops, we misplaced $4 billion that we just found, and now we can send that to Ukraine immediately. Yeah. And you're telling me you can afford roughly $120 a year for our junior enlisted service members because of economic hardship under the Biden-Harris administration. The whole thing is a freaking joke, but it's a joke that has very real consequences on the men and women who are serving and on our military and therefore on our safety and security.
Can you imagine? Like $120 a month would have been insulting. $120 a year?
Yeah, right.
Oh my God. Now what so she said $120 a year, but she said $20 a month. Maybe she just was not doing the math right in her head. Maybe it was $240 a year. But $240 a month would have been still like it's starting to do maybe a little something for someone.
Yeah, that'll cover your booze and cigarettes.
Right. Yeah. Your Zen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can see why the military is not fond of the existing administration. All right, you guys ready? You got to brace yourself. This is going to be there's some cringe here. You're going to have to see Destiny.
No.
Destiny got absolutely stuffed in a locker by a guy in red, white, and blue heels.
Kamala Harris's policies and Trump's policies, we benefited. My community benefited.
From what policy? What are you
Because when
about?
you bring in an unskilled labor population, they're going to compete with Americans who are also low-skilled workers.
Do you think that we have an employment?
You don't think I can't teach Maria or Juanita to pick up a pair of scissors and groom a dog's hair? Because I've done that before. And you know what? I can replace anybody. That's called being a low-skilled worker. And anybody crossing the border can do that. You don't need a degree. You don't need a diploma to do these jobs.
No, but we do have
these
degrees.
Jobs,
America does not have the most productive labor force in the world because we do base manufacturing jobs.
You don't think these low-skilled jobs are important. You don't think these low-skilled jobs are important. That's very sad. That's very sad that you don't care about low-skilled workers.
We do more in the United States than just base manufacturing. We are the world's most sophisticated and educated economy.
Why shouldn't we do more base manufacturing?
You don't have 50 hours in the day. You can do more than that. Why wouldn't we let other countries do it?
The reason that manufacturers choose to go out of the country is because America has to pay for things like labor laws, employment, insurance, all these other facets. That's why these big corporations will go to places like China. I have a company called BYD in my backyard that brings in Chinese immigrants and pays them Chinese wages in America. And my representative, Mike Garcia, got that organization defunded because federal funding, my taxes.
You think it would be better if we pay? So we need to
Chinese company in my backyard. I would rather pay American workers
$2 an hour to make products. Maybe your company shouldn't exist in America. Maybe you should go to China and make your company. Go to China and make the company. That would be better. You should do that. Yes, I'm arguing that American workers can earn more money.
You are very sad.
I'm saying
you don't love America.
Elon Musk.
You are proving that you don't love America because you don't want Americans to benefit. You don't want American manufacturing to lift people out of poverty. That is sad.
I'm in pain. Yeah, I would. You know what? I'd rather share a country with the obviously homosexual brown dude than Destiny.
Yes.
Get him out of here.
Yes. Now, really, keep them both away. But man,
I'll take the other guy.
We live in a time where you have a very obviously gay brown dude in heels arguing for Trump's economic policies.
I can't Destiny. His whole debate style is basically I'm just gonna yell a bunch of shit. You're gonna start talking. I'm gonna finish your sentence for you, but what I'm gonna say is gonna be wrong than what you were gonna say, and I'm just gonna keep yelling it over and over and over. It's so obnoxious to listen to.
Yes, I don't understand how he manages how he developed his audience. He's the most ordinary, insignificant person that I've ever seen. There is a billion Destinies out there. Like, what's? Yeah. Anyways.
And why does the homosexual dude have like more gusto and more testosterone than Destiny?
Yeah. Did you see his face at the end when he did his little walk off? Watch Destiny's face. He just got absolutely mogged. Oh, hold on. Too many things playing. Okay. Yeah, he got stuffed in a locker by a guy in red, white, and blue heels.
He gives me the ick.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Keeping it going here. We've got a whole nested bunch of things on this one. So I'm not going to play the whole thing here. Just get the idea.
Are these the based blacks?
I don't know. Bay Area rap legend Mr. Fab just dropped a song exposing the corrupt politicians destroying Oakland, California.
State of emergency, you hear the fire trucks and ambulances. Ask what is it, I tell you a blizzard full of avalanches. Frustrated youth in the news cause they ain't had no chance. Dropped out of school, it wasn't cool with them average class. What would you do if it was you? I wanna ask the man.
Okay, so I don't want to play too much of that because I'm sure it's on YouTube and it'll get the stream taken down. But Lee Fang said Oakland is so dysfunctional, rappers are now focusing on the blight of tent cities and slow police response times. The only people who defend the status quo are the NGO activists and far-left reporters. So you've got rappers who are complaining about slow police response times. And Jacob Shell says... What?
The irony.
Yeah, right. Jacob Shell says the NGOs are such a scourge. Mark Andreessen says, if you don't like corporations, just wait until you deal with organizations that are unconstrained by a profit motive. What a pithy way of saying it. And Elon replied to him and said, many of these NGOs are heavily funded by the government, which makes them a GNGO self-licking ice cream cone. Only way to break this is to elect politicians who will stop funding them. So let's rally behind this cause. Banning NGOs. I'm happy with the idea of banning NGOs. Let's take the war to the enemy. Libertarian Party of New Hampshire endorsed Trump yesterday, which is frankly not a huge surprise. But Andrew, Catholic Orthodoxy, he says the L-fucking-P is endorsing Trump. Oh, you just know the Lolberts are going to be big mad about this. Big W for the post-libertarians arguing the GOP is better than the LP. I just wanted to share this as a shout out to the homies.
Yeah. Are we ever gonna get a hey, you guys were right from, like a Dave or a Michael Heiss or something like that? Probably not.
No. Michael Heiss is voting for Trump as well.
I know that, but I would like to hear hey, you guys were right.
Yeah, no, that's never gonna happen.
And we just wasted, 6 years or whatever.
Right, yeah. And I will say, in fairness to them, Angela McArdle seems to have gotten herself into a place where she's legitimately doing stuff.
To know what's going on.
Yes, and so big props to her. And and I'll say this, if the whole LPMC thing was what allowed that to happen, then all right, good for them. Good for them for figuring out how to take a shit sandwich and turn it into something better. But that was not the plan in the first place. Yes, right. Buck Johnson says he's in talks with Heiss now. He wants to get him to admit it. Yeah.
Go get him.
Yeah, go get him, Tiger. $5 super chat from Michael Robertson. He says, the day of the crystals approaches. Godspeed, gentlemen. Godspeed indeed. The day of the crystals. So speaking of unlikely Trump endorsements, Skip Bayless.
Let me say this about Donald.
Skip Bayless is, I'm looking forward to seeing Magoo's description of Skip Bayless because I know it's going to be very good. He's a sports ball guy. He's like, I don't know, like a shock jock, essentially, is kind of his whole thing. His job is to just piss everyone off and be really controversial. But he's also very much like he's not political. He's very shallow, no politicalness to him.
Trump. I do not share a number of his views, maybe many of his views, but I do believe he's a natural-born leader who isn't afraid to make tough decisions and who, however you want to explain it, has been very lucky through his life. See the little scar on his ear as opposed to a hole in his head. I'll go with lucky over blessed because I'm just not sure either he or Kamala truly believe in a higher power, truly worship that higher power, truly pray for divine guidance. I know what they've said publicly, but I'm just not sure either candidate has God in his or her heart. I have pretty good instincts about this, and I'm just not convinced. Let me say this about Donald.
So it's very, can you hear me now, Cooper?
Yeah, sorry, I had to dip there for a second.
Glonk got it exactly here. Skip is the destiny of sports, of like sports broadcasters.
Okay.
So first of all, I got to say, it's like mind melting to think that the critique that he wants to retain about Trump is that he doesn't believe in a higher power, that he's like not Christian enough. Like Skip Bayless's critique of Trump is that he's not Christian enough. But this is part of this vibe shift where now more and more straight up like formerly apolitical, just as neutral as possible, default regime people in media they're all coming out in mass and starting to treat Trump like he's just a person. Like he's the incoming president.
He's not literally Hitler?
Yes. They're actually like taking him seriously and talking about him seriously. They've got their ear to the ground, you might say. We just hit 150 likes. We're at 153. What a day. This is awesome. We should have election day every day, in my opinion. We've got 229 watching right now. Shout out to you guys. Do me a favor if you're watching on Twitter and hit the retweet button on this tweet. We're continuing this trend of strange things to see. These weird, goofy fuckers know how to get down, man.
Yeah, they are seriously the goofiest looking fuckers in the country.
Yeah, look at the big doofy guy right here. Where'd he go? There's this one tall, skinny, doofy guy right there.
How do they attract women?
By force? I don't know. Daily Wire Fest looks lit. The Bagel Boys. The Bagel Boys throw down.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the Bagel Boys, man. This one here yesterday had me rolling. This is for you, Peanut.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord, I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord, can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord, oh Lord.
This guy says, I love how retarded everyone is becoming. This one went, 8.6 million views on that one. 16 million views on this one, 16.7. I saw this yesterday when it had 150 retweets or something like that. It went mega viral. You knew it was going to. The chat is just killing me. Buck Johnson, they're supposed to run the music industry, not actually perform in it. And then Ian Carroll, they say, give me the Arby's curly fry to their barbers. You see Wyman's in the chat?
I do. He was saying, he was spouting off earlier. It's good to see him. It's been a long time, man.
Yeah. $4.99. He says, "Hey, wait a minute. That's Cooper, not a Trump campaign official."
Oh, you got me.
You've been outed.
Was it the big nose?
Wyman always sees behind the tricks. Here's a banger.
That's fun. I like that.
Our boys make the best schizo edits, don't they, folks? Oh, man. So Trump has a new twirly move in his YMCA routine. Here he is. Here's the man himself. He's leveling up. Wait for it. The twirl! He's twirling. Another one here. Trump is literally decline as a choice posting the day before the election. I couldn't be more white-pilled than I am right now. That's last night from Logan Hall.
Over the past 4 years, Americans have suffered one catastrophic failure, betrayal, and humiliation after another. Kamala Harris has delivered soaring prices and economic anguish at home, war and chaos abroad, and nation-destroying invasion on our southern border like nobody's ever seen before. She's actually a disaster. My message to Americans tonight is simple. We do not have to live this way. We don't. We don't. And we won't. We won't. We do not have to settle for weakness, incompetence, decline, and decay. And over the past 4 years...
And then this one was last night.
She's a bad person. Evil. She's an evil, sick, crazy band. Oh, no. It starts with a B, but I won't say it. I want to say it. A bad person.
And then this is an older one. Jack Posobiec said they cut to me absolutely losing it when Trump brought up the shower heads. And then Joshua, which is Joshua Lisek, is doing his hypnotist mind control stares. This is from back in June. I was cracking up at this last night.
You ever go into a new home where you have a shower where the water doesn't come out of the shower head? They put a restrictor on. I took all the restrictors off.
Our guy.
I've had the experience. I take a shower. I want that beautiful head of hair to be nice and wet. Lather. I want it to be lathered beautifully. And I get this best stuff you can buy and I dump it all over. And then I turn on the water and the damn water drips out. I can't get the stuff out of my hair. It's a horrible thing. No, it's terrible. Oh, you turn on the sink and the faucet. You turn it and no water, practically no water comes. So you leave your hands under there. You're trying to get the water. Well, I revoked all of that stuff and they just put it back on. Isn't that terrible? And these are areas that have a lot of water where they don't know what to do with it. It goes out to sea. And we'll turn it back on the first day. We're going to do a lot of things on the first day. We're going to take care of a lot of problems.
Oh, man. I was just sitting here thinking while I was listening to that prior to the assassination attempt, I would have considered myself the most, the most dialed up to 100% Trump supporter you could possibly be. And I was realizing, sitting here watching this, that the last few months have taken me from like being fully supportive of him as a politician to just genuinely loving the dude as a man and thinking he's just legendary. It's such a privilege to live at the same time as him. So if that's happened to me, how many more people has it happened to? I don't think I'm the only one who's gone from being like, man, I love that guy Trump to like one of the most incredible people I've ever seen. Just one of the most improbable lives. Just a genuinely good man, funny, masterful crowd communicator. We're going to miss him when he's gone. Another one from Logan Hall. This has me ready to run through a wall.
It was like tonight, just like, like you're just Trump posting?
Yes.
What we're doing?
Yeah.
Right.
I did it for a lot of last night, and a bunch of these were ones that I dropped out. So the Trump posting last night got shortened, so you got to run over into this stream. Do me a favor, anybody, if you guys are watching news and stuff that's rolling in, I just kind of glanced over. Looks like 1% of the votes in Kentucky, and Trump's at 81.2%. Nevada GOP total lead is now at 50,000 votes. They've added 10,000 votes to their lead in the day. So if there's any other big reports that you guys have seen so far, then let us know. Drop them in the chat. John Slaughter, yes. Dare we say a great man? Yes. You know, like before, I would have probably called him like, you know, like, yeah, he's a really like, he's definitely a great man. But now it's like, no, he's like a generational defining great man. Like this is what great man looks like when you see it in real person. We got 222 watching and 166 votes, and people are in the chat crying out for 200 likes. Can we get 200 likes? I'll give you guys another banger here.
Millions of Americans sincerely love Donald Trump. They love him in spite of everything they've heard. They love him often in spite of himself. They love Donald Trump because no one else loves them. The country their ancestors fought for over hundreds of years has left them to die in their unfashionable little towns, mocked and despised by the sneering half-wits with finance degrees but no actual skills who seem to run everything all of a sudden. Whatever Donald Trump's fault, he is better than the rest of the people in charge. Donald Trump, in other words, is and has always been a living indictment of the people who run this country. That was true when Trump came out of nowhere to win the presidency, and it's every bit as true right now. Trump rose because they failed. It's as simple as that. If the people in charge had done a halfway decent job with the country they inherited, Donald Trump would still be hosting Celebrity Apprentice. But they didn't. Instead, they were incompetent and narcissistic and cruel and relentlessly dishonest. They wrecked what they didn't build. They lied about it. They hurt anyone who told the truth about what they were doing. That's true. We watched. America is still a great country, the best in the world, but our ruling class is disgusting. A vote for Trump is a vote against them. That's what's going on in this country.
That was good.
If Tucker's not your guy, you're not our guy. I'm saying that with directed at someone in particular. You guys can fill in the blanks. Shout out to Brandon Walsh. Go follow him on Twitter at LG Brandon Walsh. I always love seeing LGB on my timeline.
Okay, so both Josh Ham and Mark Metz were at the rally last night.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you guys think?
Yes,
Continue.
Tell us.
Yeah, Josh hit me up like, okay, he hit me up first thing in the morning or overnight or whatever, and he was like, hey, I'm thinking about going to the rally. And by the time I got out of work and saw it, I'm like, oh, cool. Well, have fun. And he's like, yeah, I'm on my way up right now. Do you want to like get food or something, or do you want to come? Like 2 hours notice, dude. I can't do that.
Cooper's an old man.
Yeah, and I had a meeting with you and some other people for our super top secret project. But yeah, I wish I could have gone. Seems like it'd have been a good time.
Yeah, I saw at 2:00 in the morning, he was out there dancing on the stage. That was his 4th rally of the day. Can you imagine keeping that schedule for literally like 60 days consecutively?
I want whatever he's on.
He's gonna get into office and he's gonna be like, oh man, I can finally get back to a normal work schedule.
Yeah, right.
This video is from the Kennedy team. He says it'll give you chills. Grade A prime propaganda, and I'm here for it. Send this video to the normies in your life who haven't voted yet. This was one that was supposed to go out yesterday, so I guess it might be a little late. You might still be able to send it to someone, but here it is.
Moment. How will we be remembered? Look at the opportunities before us.
This election really isn't about the left versus the right. It's about we the people choosing our government and the choice between freedom versus tyranny.
Nobody has a chronic disease burden like we have. Why are we allowing this to happen to our children? Ultimately, the only thing that will save our country is if we choose to love our kids more than we hate each other.
What is going on here is deeper than politics. It is deeply spiritual. We are being called to rise above the hatred and the fear and the evil.
We need to remember above and beyond that we must love our neighbors, that we must treat other people as we hope to be treated.
You want to be a rebel? You want to be a hippie? You want to stick it to the man? Show up on your college campus and try calling yourself a conservative.
America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing!
Don't you want healthy children? Don't you want a president that's going to make America healthy again? The sweet emotion raining all over me.
I come to you today as a former Democrat. I will be a first-time Trump voter tonight.
The people dreamed this country, and it's the people who are making America great again.
My wife says, I think I'm pregnant now. Oh, that might be the most American thing that I've ever seen. Someone asked who the woman with the weak voice is. That's Nicole Shanahan. She was RFK's VP, the ex-wife of Sergey Brin, and she has a child. She was radicalized when her child experienced a medical procedure and then showed really bad symptoms suddenly after that. And she got
What kind of symptoms?
Autism.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, and like some other kind of autoimmune something or other.
That's what radicalized my mom.
Mm-hmm. Many such cases.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's one of those things that if you see a woman who's been radicalized by something like that, she might be she's this very kind of emotional she's very slight, weak voice. That's a force of nature.
Well, interestingly, because like for my mom, this was years ago, she was kind of an early adopter because back in the day, back when I was a kid, I don't know, so like early 2000s or something like that, to be anti-jab and all of that was kind of a left-wing hippie thing.
Mm-hmm.
So she's always been relatively, she's always been conservative, voted Republican and all of that. But yeah, she was, I remember as I was moving into early adulthood, moving out of the house, all of that, thinking like, maybe my mom's kind of crazy about all that shit. And then here we are a few years later, and I'm like, no, she was right about all of it.
Uh-huh. Many such cases. All right. This happened just a little bit ago. Kamala just pretended to call a voter, but then accidentally showed her screen, and she was on the camera app.
How you doing? Have you voted already? You did? Thank you. Thank you so much. You know, it's so important that everybody participates.
How remarkable is it that we've gotten to witness the single best political campaign of all time going up against the single worst political campaign of all time?
Yeah, for real.
Number one, like even staging a call like this in the first place is pathologically retarded. And then she literally shows people her phone. There's all sorts of leaks and stuff coming out from the camp there that she's like raging mad. She was literally out door knocking yesterday, late last night. They posted a video of her out walking up to some random person's house and knocking on the door.
Dude, I can't wait until tomorrow when all of the YouTube ads while I'm at work listening to podcasts and shit just goes back to like, I'm so tired of hearing this chick's voice every 30 seconds. I can't wait.
And she's gonna, as soon as she's as soon as this is all over, we're never gonna hear from her again. She's gonna be gone.
Good.
Hold on real quick. I just saw people commenting on the erection data channel that I set up in the Discord. Indiana results.
Erection alert.
Erection alert. Erection alert. Indiana results. Trump 74.5%, Harris 24.5%, with 1% reporting. Karl Rove says Trump campaign sees chance of taking Virginia, New Mexico, and New Hampshire. I tweeted yesterday, and I've said it multiple times here, that I think he's going to win Virginia. And the more if these numbers continue to persist, like even if they begin to change later on, but if they keep persisting longer, it is going to absolutely crater turnout on the West Coast among Democrats. Because they're going to be like, there's no point. I already live in a blue state, whatever. There's no point. And some of those West Coast states could start getting real interesting. Imagine if Trump pulled like Oregon. I've got something here in a minute on New Jersey. It's right here. It's the next tab.
Hey, you know what's really interesting? I just recently saw that in Michigan, in Northville, which, for those who don't know, Northville it's one of the suburbs of Detroit, but it's where all the white people are. It's on 8 Mile, but it's like 8 Mile in Northville versus 8 Mile and Hamtramck are very different places, and they're like 20 minutes apart. One's on the west side, one's on the east side. So Northville, Michigan, where all the white people are, and most of the Trump support that's in Wayne and Oakland counties, just magically, crazy coincidence, the polling station, they had to shut it down because of a gas leak. How about that?
You're kidding. Oh, and there was
what are the odds?
There were threats. There were B threats. I don't know if you necessarily could say the whole phrase. There were threats of boom boom things happening but just at like particular important polling regions in, I think it was
swing states.
In swing states.
Why does this only happen in swing states?
Yeah, right. Andrew says Fairfax County in Virginia, their turnout is way down. Fairfax is the very deep blue DC suburb county where all the blue votes are. This guy here, Matt Rooney from New Jersey, says, I have big numbers out of Morris County, New Jersey. Now, I put this in here from 2:34 p.m. in the last 3 hours. This may have changed, but I have big numbers out of Morris County, New Jersey. Republicans, 40,000. Democrats, 24,000. Unaffiliated, 29,000. This is today, machine only. Early voting was... Democrats were up by 1,000 votes, so virtually no Democrat firewall from early voting. Biden carried this wealthy New York City suburb in 2020. Biden had just about 154,000 votes to Trump's 141,000, so 51 to 47% basically. man, if like there is still the legitimate possibility that Virginia, Minnesota, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, Washington, Oregon, Colorado, some of these states may be actually coming into play. And that's, I mean, it's getting to the point where it is too big to rig. Being able to try to rig all of these things in all the different locations all at the same time, the only way that they would probably be able to do that is through voting machines. Then there was a release about how the voting machines can be hacked, and there's a whole bunch of the Dominion ones that can be hacked. Things are going to get very interesting here. Because every single time that one of these, like you said, the gas leak thing, there was another thing of voting machines that were down or something in Pennsylvania, and Julie, trying to remember her last name, Julie on Twitter, Julie writes, from Amy and Julie, the twins. She had they broke some news about how the machines were not working and something was getting hung up and they weren't letting poll watchers in or something along those lines. It went viral. Elon got it to Laura Trump. Laura Trump sicked people on it. They got the Republican lawyers in there right away and got it taken care of. This is happening over and over and over and over again. There is a well-documented path now of Republican legal teams showing up immediately Johnny on the spot and courts acting very quickly to give them decisions in their favor over and over and over again. And this is exactly what I've been saying for months is going to happen, because ultimately the system is going to have so many interests within it that want to retain the credibility of the system that another steal is just going to be so implausibly difficult. Because ultimately people are going to be like, in individual decision points, it's going to be like, if I do this, it's going to just so massively decrease my own credibility or the credibility of the system that I believe in and want to remain a part of, that I have to do the more honest thing. That doesn't even get into the public perception of the two campaigns and all the different things. This is why it's been so clear all along. In spite of all the black pillars, it's been so clear all along that the odds are heavily against Kamala.
All my shit-lib friends are gonna lose their minds.
Yes, I'm sure, because they're all super confident in her, right?
Oh yeah. They're it's gonna be a rough day for them.
Well, one thing that I've been noticing a lot is
you think they'll like, wow, this went way different than I thought it was gonna go. Maybe I need to reconsider my priors. Do you think they're gonna do that?
No,
not
remotely. There's gonna be
they're gonna double down.
There's gonna be ample media content for them to consume that continues to reinforce their priors. This tweet here was funny from Seth Keshel. It says Pima County GOP and D+9 County beating Dems with a sock full of shit with 16% turnout edge on election day. It's continuing the same pattern that's happening in all of these heavily blue areas, and really all the areas in general, is that Lib turnout is way, way down, and GOP turnout is the same or higher. Sometimes it's a little bit lower, but generally speaking, there's a lot of rural and low propensity GOP voters that are turning out.
Yeah, I mean, I went to my polling station like a block away from me or whatever, and I was, because I kind of live in a little yuppie town that's kind of a suburb of Lansing, and I would like probably the place was packed, and there was probably, I'd say 80% dudes wearing Carhartt, so I take that as a good sign.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. From what I'm hearing, this Paul Ingracia says, from what I'm hearing from my Pennsylvania sources, Democrats are freaking out about Philadelphia. Compared to 2020, Philadelphia turnout is described as a ghost town. Given how Democrat the city is, this is a good sign for Donald Trump. Kamala would need hundreds of thousands of votes in Philadelphia to take the state of Pennsylvania, given the massive voter registration surge for Republicans since 2020. In some, early momentum, the Keystone State is strong for DJT. And how many votes would she need? This is how many.
County. There are estimates that because of the depressed early vote for Democrats, that Kamala Harris is going to need to pull 700,000 votes, here in Philadelphia in order to pull out a win. Let's take a look at the historic vote here. Hillary Clinton got 560,000 votes in Philadelphia in 2016. In 2020, Joe Biden got 603,000. So she's going to need another 100,000 votes here in Philadelphia to hit that 700,000 margin. Pennsylvania and
so,
in particular.
It's been widely talked about for months now that Pennsylvania is going to be the deciding factor in the election. That I think it's if Trump wins Pennsylvania like 97% of the time or something like that, he wins. So Pennsylvania will basically turn the election, and Kamala, in order to win it, will have to receive 100,000 more votes in Pennsylvania than Joe Biden did, who himself had 43,000 more votes than Hillary Clinton. She's going to have to turn out 100,000 extra when her turnout is way down everywhere else. There's a well-documented now enthusiasm reduction among the Democrats. I mean, I don't even see how they could plausibly set this up. Now, maybe they're going to try. Maybe they've got something in the something in their holster, but it's looking very, very dark. Yes, this is in Philadelphia, not in Pennsylvania. In Philadelphia itself, she needs an extra 100. She needs all of the voters that she got before, that they got, plus 100,000 more. And then here's another thing for Jersey.
So in other words, she's fucked.
Yes. Yeah, just cooked. So shout out to Bryce, sent me this right when we were starting with the show. This chick says, Jersey is way more of a swing state than people think. I know like 5 people who are voting Harris, and I live here. And George says, this is why Trump said he can win New Jersey. An army of Jewish voters flooded the polls in Lakewood to vote for Trump. It's the largest Jewish community in the state of New Jersey. I want to see him dancing. Like someone get some EDM out there.
Someone go blow up a tower.
Yeah, that'll get him going. All right. Well, those are all the tabs that I had prepared. I'll come over here and let's check out the list that I put together and see what sort of news is dropping now. Come on, open up. We need 11 more likes to get to 200. We've got 234 watching still. Can we get 10 more? Amy says a second puppy's going to get it now unless Matt and Cooper get 11 more likes. All right, so let's see what's in here. Do not extrapolate from just early votes. Hamilton County early vote. Harris 50, Trump 49. Hamilton went for Trump by 7 in 2020 and was a big tell on suburban swings that year too. It'll be interesting to see how much gets made up in the election day vote. The closer to 7, the better for Trump in suburbs nationwide potentially. And Republican Senate candidate Jim Banks is up by 4 with this dump, outrunning Trump by 5, showing the suburban split may still exist down ballot for Republicans. So estimated 3% in Kentucky. Trump's at 69%. Nice. Let's see. Let me know. Drop anything else in the chat here. I'm just going to kind of hang out for a little bit until see if anything comes up. I'll just hang out. If you guys have any stories or anything, then I can look it up and see. I've got 45 minutes until the Old Glory Club stream starts. So I'll be over there at 7:30 Eastern. Charlie Kirk says, so far what we can glean from Indiana and Kentucky, and it's admittedly limited, we're going to outperform 2020 in those states by a few points, and rural are holding steady even while turnout in urban centers seems down nationwide. If rural continue performing on par with 2020 levels or slightly ahead, that's a good sign for Republicans. Laura Trump. Throughout the day, we have been monitoring slow ballot counting in Milwaukee. Now our legal team has learned that the counting took place in unsecured conditions and the city now has to start over, wildly extending the counting timeline. This is an unacceptable example of incompetent election administration in a key swing state. Voters deserve better, and we are unambiguously calling on Milwaukee's officials to do their jobs and count ballots quickly and effectively. Anything less undermines voter confidence. We'll update the situation when we know more.
Incompetent.
Yes. Is it that Charlie Kirk's head is large or that his face is small? I can never really make it out.
You ever see those memes where people just keep making his face smaller and smaller?
Yeah, right. Clark County in Nevada is... So this is one that Clark County is a blue county. And so far, Democrats are lagging very far behind, trying to make up ground. But the rural vote has been overwhelmingly for Trump. So even if it winds up going blue, it's going to have, from what I've been reading, it's going to have to be significantly blue to make up for it. And it doesn't look like they're going to get that. It's possible that Hispanics will make up a larger share of the electorate than black voters, which would be a historic first. Probably not a real big surprise.
That is actually a little surprising to me that black people are, I guess, vote. Well, I guess not. Not now that I think about it.
I think it's what I was thinking of as a combination of voter turnout being really depressed by Kamala being a huge turnoff to a lot of black people, combined with all the unlimited immigration from Hispanic countries. All right, let's see what else is down here. Polling hours extended in several states as voting continues. North Carolina, 2 precincts will stay open until 8 p.m. Eastern due to earlier technical issues. In Georgia, threats forced Gwinnett County and Cobb County precincts to extend hours, pushing closures to 7:58 p.m. Eastern and 7:20 p.m. Eastern, respectively. In Pennsylvania, Governor Shapiro expects vote counting to wrap up faster than 2020, with Lancaster County already over halfway through processing mail-ins. This is one headline I saw yesterday was, if I remember right, it was Governor Shapiro saying, no, there's not going to be a long, prolonged count. We're going to have it done on election night, which, again, we've predicted that he is not interested in participating in fortification because he has his own designs on 2028. And, in fact, Andrew Torba said that his read of this was that Kamala didn't reject Shapiro and choose Walz instead. Shapiro rejected her and turned down the VP offer because he knew that she was a catastrophic candidate and he didn't want to stain himself with her administration or with her campaign. Detroit aims to complete vote counting by midnight. Wisconsin, Milwaukee will recount 30,000 absentee ballots due to issues with tabulating machines. In Arizona, Maricopa County will release the first batch of 1.1 to 1.2 million ballots at 10 p.m. Eastern, an hour after polls close. So the Old Glory Club stream is going to be going late into the night, I would imagine. I'll try to stay there for as much as I can. According to AP exit polls, swing state voters care most about the economy and immigration. Pennsylvania, so all of them are about 60%. Republican win for the House election in Kentucky's 6th congressional district. Interesting. The America PAC will continue past this election. They'll be preparing for the midterms and elections at the district attorney level and judicial level. Something has to counter the damage that has been done. America is going to do common sense stuff. I wondered if they were going to keep it going.
Well, a lot of dead air, Matt.
Yeah, I said the show's over basically now, so I'm just going to hang out and scroll through this. For anybody who wants to hang out, there's a few people who said they wanted me to stick around and look at stuff. So I'm just going to do this until I decide I'm done. Probably another 20 minutes, maybe.
Cool.
10 minutes till the first poll closes. So let's see. Duval County in Florida, Republican lead holding steady at 2.9 points. So Duval County is every election, Duval County has wound up left of Georgia. And so if Duval County winds up a red county, then Georgia essentially is guaranteed for Trump. Where's it at right now? So the advantage, Trump is up 12,281 votes out of 186,000 to 173,000. People are taking their likes away. We hit 200 for a minute there. FB Informant says, I can't go on X, so I'll be here. Thank you, gentlemen. You're welcome. I'll stick around here just for you. I'll be here till 10 after, so another 19 minutes or so. And then that'll give me time to go to the bathroom and get ready for the stream with the Old Glory Club. Thanks for showing up for the Astrolabe, guys. If this is your first time, because the viewership is a lot higher, I'd imagine there's some of you who are here for the first time. I do this show Monday through Friday, and it's basically like this. Just looking at all the different tweets and videos and anything that caught my eye. So it's usually about a 2 or 3 hour show. Love to have you come back sometime. If you want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/kingpilled. Link is in the description. You can also join the King Pill Discord at kingpilled.com. We've had a few people who've joined today. We've got a great group in there, and we created a special channel, which I should go check. We created a special channel for erection data so we can keep track of everything that's happening and not clutter up the general chat. Let's see what we've got in here. Eric Doherty. Decision Desk HQ has their own needle right now. Trump with a 59.2% chance of winning. So they've got Trump at 275 electoral votes is their estimate at the moment. And then early vote data says Arizona update, R is still going strong. Lead is now 32K plus in Maricopa. Saw Pima now have a 7K lead there, a little more than 3 hours of voting left there. All right, so let's come back to, let me scroll down here just a little bit more. We're 25 minutes behind live where we're at right now. Pennsylvania court blocks election judge from hand counting ballots. A Pennsylvania court has ordered Fayette County election judge Vincent Mineta not to proceed with a hand count of presidential ballots, ruling it violates state law. Mineta refuses, a sheriff's deputy will transport ballots to the county election headquarters to ensure compliance. All right, let's get up to current time. Rambling King Pill Man, still better than Timcast. I appreciate that. Dark MAGA.
An exclusive mission is to go to work for our country, to go to work for you. It's time to deliver a victory for the American people. We don't win anymore, but we are going to start winning again.
I'm not just MAGA. I'm Gothic MAGA.
From mountain to mountain, from ocean to ocean, hear these words. You will never be ignored again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Why did it refresh?
I hate that shit, man. That Elon, you need to fix that. Make that stop happening.
Yes.
Like, don't just automatically refresh on me while I'm scrolling. I have to make it so I have to do the swipe down thing to make it refresh. Because I hate when I'm reading something that it just fucking jumps up.
Yeah. Oh, just killed the vibe. Yeah, unreal that Elon is posting this.
America is a nation of believers, dreamers, and strivers. We will bring back our jobs. We will bring back our borders. We will bring back our wealth. And we will bring back our dreams. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless America.
Oh, man. Banger. Got a couple super chats in here. $9.99 from Wyman. Thank you, buddy. He says, just sending for the vibes. Let's fucking go. That's right. And Wolfgang Graves, $1.99. Trumpomania is running wild. I love it that now, anytime I post anything that has Hulk Hogan in it, or I play anything that has Hulk Hogan in it, immediately the chat fills up with HH. I saw something just a minute ago that the report from inside the White House is that Joe Biden wrote in Joe. May Musk, Elon's mom, is turning into an influencer. It's a family business now. Multiple bomb threats made in Georgia, specifically at polling places in Fulton County, DeKalb County, and Cobb County. Oh, so surprising. The threats are especially concerning to the Harris campaign. These threats are not believed to be credible, but they are being investigated, and as a result, some of the polling places maybe temporarily were closed. Voters turned away. This is happening in the parts of the state where the Harris campaign and Democrats need to drive up turnout among Democratic-leaning voters. The delightful irony. Yo, it's John Rocker.
Baseball's most global asshole, John Rocker. This is the one time and still baseball's most global asshole, John Rocker. I think in a few years off social media, but I'm back. So far, all my social media outlets, Instagram, Facebook, and X, and some ridiculous shit I'll have to say next. Look forward to seeing you.
I am here for this. I am here for John Rocker's influencer arc. Oh, this is going to be so good. Do you know who John Rocker is, Cooper?
Nope.
He was a pitcher back in the late 90s, early 2000s for the Yankees. He pitched for the Braves? I don't remember. He was a very controversial because he got in trouble for saying racist stuff, like complaining about black people on the train or something along those lines. I don't remember the exact details of it now. But yeah, Atlanta. Yeah. He was with the Braves. I remember he said something about, let me see if I can find this story. Someone's going to probably put it in the chat, but he said something about New York. Oh, my keyboard's being an asshole again. All the technology is dying on me. Let's see. What was controversial statements? In a story published in the December 27, 1999 issue of Sports Illustrated, Rocker made a number of allegations stemming from his experiences in New York City and answering a question about whether he would ever play for the Yankees or the Mets. Quote, I'd retire first. It's the most hectic, nerve-wracking city. Imagine having to take the 7 train to the ballpark, looking like you're riding through Beirut next to some kid with purple hair, next to some queer with AIDS, right next to some dude who just got out of jail for the 4th time, right next to some 20-year-old mom with 4 kids. It's depressing. The biggest thing I don't like about New York are the foreigners. You can walk an entire block in Times Square and not hear anybody speaking English. Asians and Koreans and Vietnamese and Indians and Russians and Spanish people and everything up there. How the hell did they get in this country? This is 1999 in Sports Illustrated. During the interview, he also spoke of his opinion of the New York Mets and their fans. Nowhere else in the country do people spit at you, throw bottles at you, throw quarters at you, throw batteries at you, and say, hey, I did your mother last night. She's a whore. I talked about what degenerates they were, and they proved me right. The interview was conducted while driving to a speaking engagement in Atlanta. The reporter, Jeff Pearlman, probably don't need to early life check him, wrote that during the interview session, Rocker spat on a Georgia State Route 400 toll machine and mocked Asian women. He referred to Kurosawa teammate Randall Simon as a fat monkey. Although Rocker later apologized after speaking with Braves legend and Hall of Famer Hank Aaron and former Atlanta Mayor and Congressman Andrew Young, he continued to make controversial remarks. For his comments, Commissioner Bud Selig suspended him without pay for the remainder of spring training in the first 28 games of the 2000 season, which on appeal was reduced to 14 games without a spring training suspension. In 2002, while with the Rangers, he again made national headlines for his views after directing slurs toward patrons of a Dallas restaurant at which he was dining, located in the predominantly gay neighborhood of Oak Lawn. In June 2006, he defended former teammate Ozzie Guillen, at the time the manager of the Chicago White Sox, for referring to Chicago Sun-Times sports columnist Jay Mariotti as a fag. Guillen, a native of Venezuela, claimed it was not a derogatory term and that in Venezuela, the term only questions another man's courage rather than his sexual orientation. This is a free country. If he wants to use a lewd term, he should be able to use a lewd term, Rocker told the Chicago Tribune. Can't you use a lewd term in America if you want? Referred to sensitivity training, he was quoted as saying it was a farce, a way for the scared little man Bud Selig to get people off his ass. Rocker stated that when he attended mandatory sensitivity training, he would seldom remain longer than 15 minutes. He also claimed he never paid the $500 fine that was levied against him. Oh, man, this is going to be really good. If he's coming out as in his influencer arc, yeah, he's the Kenny Powers of real life. That's exactly what he is. Oh, man. Let's see. Okay, so let's share the screen here again. Back over here.
Is that, yeah, okay, FBI informants asking, is this the guy that killed Osama and told the Gen Z Kamala twinks that he'd make them his concubines? Was that him?
No, that was Robert O'Neill.
Okay, because I did see that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, let me share that on my keyboard is just wigging out now. I don't know why it does this. Sisson? What the hell? Okay. So here, Robert J. O'Neill. I said, we're Gen Z voters, and we all proudly voted for Kamala Harris. Real men support Harris. He said, you're not men, you're boys. If there was no social media, you would be my concubines. And he added something to it as well. Let me see if I can find the...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got even more
yeah, like
with it.
he was like, let me make this perfectly clear. I don't want to try to use my keyboard again. Let me... Yeah. Okay, let's try. Robert O'Neill. Where was it? You see? Did you see what Perry said? I'm suing you for trademark infringement. Okay, let's look at the replies. He must have said it as a reply. Oh, maybe he deleted it? He sure didn't strike me as someone that was going to delete it. Oh, he must have.
Any chance got taken down?
I guess maybe it did.
I mean, he was like saying he was going to like forcibly sodomize them or something like that.
Yeah, right.
So it's possible.
Oh, this is such a nightmare. Nothing is going to get me more enraged than when when like a mouse or a keyboard starts fucking up while I'm trying to use it. And that's if that's not even meaning when I'm like doing a live stream. Yeah, I guess he might. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Bro's doubling down and still has no idea what he said. No, Jake, I'm telling you exactly what betas like you will be used for. Sex and food. Mostly food. Okay. Let's get back to see what kind of news there is. I'll go for another 5 minutes here. Standing back and standing by, Mr. President. I love getting tweets from the president. Oh, I think there was another super chat that I saw come through. $10 from Tatiana. Thank you, ma'am. She says, long time no see, guys. This is going to be exciting either way it goes. Absolutely. Thank you for the support. I'm going to be signing off here in about 5 minutes. And then in about 20 minutes or 25 minutes, there will be the Old Glory Club live reaction stream is going to go live. So as soon as you are done, as soon as this stream is over, you should just go right over there. Actually, you know what I'll do is I'll just grab you guys the link here real quick and drop it in. Of course, keyboard stuff. I'll drop the link in the chat so you guys can just click it to go straight over there, since they won't allow me to redirect to them automatically. So there's the link. And then let me pin this for your guys' sakes. All right. Election Wizard is saying that Trump has won Kentucky. An hour left in Pennsylvania and Michigan. So if you're in Pennsylvania and Michigan and you haven't voted yet, you've got an hour. Get out there. Deep blue Broward County has swung from 2020. Early vote Harris plus 21. In 2020, it was plus Biden was plus 30. So a 9-vote swing to the right in Broward County. CNN projects Trump wins Kentucky and Harris takes Vermont. So we're getting states called already.
What'd I miss?
Vermont for Kamala and Kentucky for Trump, both expected. No big surprise. Yeah, Josh Ham says, sounds like America PAC is going to go directly against Soros DAs. Indeed. That seems as if that's exactly what it's been set up for. We get to see them do battle. We're very lucky that we get to watch all this happen. Blue Osceola County in Florida is a toss-up in the early vote. Harris is plus 3. Biden was plus 14 in 2020. Republican Mike Braun is the projected winner of the gubernatorial election in Indiana. I apologize. I haven't been tracking the gubernatorial politics in the great state of Indiana. I drove through it recently, but don't know anything about Mike Braun. So I don't know if this is good or bad.
Who's the current governor?
I've not the foggiest idea.
No, okay. Is it a lib?
That'd be we've got some Indiana guys and Indiana bros in the chat here, so we'll see if one of them can weigh in. I don't want to dox anyone who doesn't necessarily want to out themselves. Let's see here. Trump right on his 2020 margin in Kenton County, Kentucky, with early and mail tallied, may be a really good sign for him once the election day vote drops. That is Suburbia, USA. So if you're comparing 2020 to 24 and his performance in Kenton County, Seth's projecting that this, like if Trump just basically maintains his 2020 performance in the majority of places, especially Suburbia, then it's like he's going to win the popular vote, given the votes that are banked already. Exit polls say Trump just took Georgia. Interesting. We'll have to we're going to take the exit polls with a grain of salt. So we'll see if that holds up. Both early results from Indiana and Kentucky are not consistent with the Seltzer poll, which was the one that said Iowa was Trump plus 3. Or sorry, Kamala plus 3. Can you imagine that? A poll saying that Kamala was going to win in Iowa?
What is Iowa? Is that like historically blue?
No, it's like deep red.
Yeah, okay.
It's very red. I think, like her previous poll, it said Kamala plus 3. Her previous poll had been like Trump plus 12 or something like that.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I suppose I'd only seen the +3.
So Andrew says the margin of error the margin was 54-43. Is this in Atlanta? Or sorry, in Georgia? The exit poll margin in Georgia was 54-43 in favor of Trump's. If that's the case, then that's an exit poll that is probably worth taking seriously. Wow. Holy crap. If that holds up, man. So polls are closed in South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, and Vermont. Indiana to Trump.
Hey,
Trump
Ian, say hi to Kyle for me. I haven't seen him in a while. Tell him he's
All right.
gay.
Yes.
And retarded.
Reiterate that from me. All right. Well, I am going to go take a leak and say hello to my family and inhale a little bit of nicotine before hopping on to the Old Glory Club stream. So thanks for showing up, guys. This is fun. I will see you on the other side. Hit the like button on your way out. Holy crap, we're at 2:15.
Hold on, Matt. Wyman sent me something that he wants you to play.
Okay.
I'll drop it in the... apparently I can't drop it in the private chat. So, can I send it to you on Discord?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. This looks kind of sketchy, but...
What are you doing to us, Wyman? Hold on, I just saw a message come in. Per Fox News, black men are at 25% for Trump in Georgia. If that's true and that holds up, then oh my God. Oh, I saw this one earlier. Let me remember. Yeah, I think we could play this. My dad sent this to my family's group chat earlier, and I had to message Amy and say, "Don't play that out loud next to Eastwood." You guys are gonna like this.
Yeah, speaking of the blacks.
Straight out the door. Don't fuck with my motherfucking president. Do you understand me? Nigga, we ride with Donald Trump over here, nigga. Draco, we ain't playing with you motherfucking niggas. You understand me? Keep my motherfucking president name out your mouth. Fuck, niggas. Any motherfucking nigga, white, black, Chinese, Mexican, if you want to build that wall, let them build it. You motherfucking niggas out there think it's a game, I'm going to go to war behind Donald Trump. That's right. Do you understand me? We're going to go to motherfucking war, Trump. You got some motherfucking soldiers, boy, right here on your side, boy. Right here, we coming. Draco, talking about we going around. What that little nigga down there in Baton Rouge's name? Nigga, keep my motherfucking president out of your motherfucking mouth, nigga. Talking about you got 100 on it. Now I'm just gonna tell you motherfucking niggas get out the door.
Yeah, the music was added.
Did you hear that, Matt? Everyone who's voting for Trump are real niggas.
That's right. That means I'm a real nigga, right?
I'm a real nigga.
Hell yeah. Everyone in the chat, you guys are all real niggas.
Give me a real niggas in the chat.
Yes. Every single one of you. Type it out. You know who's a real nigga? Tatiana's a real nigga. She just became a member of the King Pilled. You too can also become a member of the King Pilled for just $5 a month. You can support the show and get early access to some of the streams that we do. We've got something very special coming for you guys very, very soon. You guys aren't going to know what to do with yourselves. All right. I gotta get out of here because I just got pizza brought to me. It was funny. right when I play that video that Amy narrowly missed exposing Eastwood to a little bit ago, right when I play that video, Eastwood walks into the office because Amy's bringing me pizza. All right. We got towers going now. You guys are going to have to interrupt those towers with some double H's because I give you guys.
Kyle's in the chat.
Oh, he got in just at the last second. My real niggas be talking shit. That's why y'all are my Caucasians. All right, I'll be back tomorrow with another Astrolabe, guys. We'll get caught up on whatever happens between now and then. For now, head over to, there's a link, pinned comment link in the chat here to go to the OGC live stream. That'll be getting started here in about 15 minutes. So I will see you guys over there. And for now, say goodbye to Cooper, and I give you Hulk.
They're my hero. And they tried to kill the next president of the United States. Enough was enough.